I think Coolsville sucks.
What you call an icon living? Puerto Rican living mistress just did it. I love over 5 minutes. Whoa, we up to our in the
Hi guys, it's Mayana from Little Wolf Reads, and today I'm going to be reading the 1-star reviews of my favorite series. I am going to be reading the reviews of The Cruel Prince, and if you don't know what The Cruel Prince is about, it's about this girl named Jude, and she is taken to the fairy world, and she wants to become like some kind of knight or something. Like, the fairies don't want to accept her because she's a human, and it just shows her like growing up as a human in a fairy world. And then this book takes a turn for the worst, and it gets really wild and chaotic, and I absolutely love it because I love chaotic. And if you love chaotic, I would definitely suggest checking out this series. But yeah, we're just gonna get into the video and get onto the saltiness. So yeah, this is how much I love The Cruel Prince. This is my Cruel Prince show. It's very unique and different, and I absolutely love it. I have black editions of The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, so if that doesn't show you how much I love this freaking series, I don't know what does. Okay. Oh, this review says that it's problematic. Okay, 384 pages, zero substance, unless you call the litter with problematic shit substance. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. This book, okay, before this book was my first experience with Holly Black, and it'll either make or break our future relationships. After, any plans for a potential relationship is hereby terminated, overdone, void, canceled, you get it. When you get into this book expecting gold and it ends up being your worst read book of the year in January, oh, the rage. That's it? Can you explain why you didn't like it? I mean, you don't have to, but I want to know like where the problematic aspects of this book are, but that's what we'll never find out. Let me preface this review to say, what the fuck was this shit? I absolutely cannot believe I wasted a crap ton of time of my freaking life to read this crap. Like, really, I don't get the hype. Seriously, authors and reviewers on Goodreads that are trusted, raved about this book, and I'm here to light the fire so I can burn the freaking pages. First of all, the writing is horrendous. It's the worst case of show not tell I've ever seen. Twilight was written better than that. I did this, she did that, now I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah. There is no emotion in the writing. I don't feel attachment toward the world of fairyland, and I couldn't connect with the protagonist Jude because I want to bash her teeth the entire time. First of all, if you think you could lay a hand on Jude, you're highly mistaken, because Jude would literally break all of your fingers before you could punch her in the face. But that's neither here nor there, okay? She acted recklessly, even when other people warn her repeatedly not to do the thing. For the first 200 pages, she does nothing but complain, oh, boo-hoo, I'm a human, boo-hoo, I'm not as pretty as strong as fast. My heart bleeds. Continuing, the other characters are shit and the plot is non-existent for the first 200 pages. The grand finale epilogue everyone's been raving about left me colder than a dead body dropped in Siberia. I could fucking care less. Oh, and the thing that really gets me going is one of the characters that is hinted at being possible love interest. He is abusive and no one bats a fucking eye in the book or in the reviews I've seen. I am so done with this female and male for that matter. Authors write an abusive love interest and absolve them for all the shit that they've done in the world of anemic sexual harassment and abusive behavior, in the world of Me Too, and the horrifying stories of women being treated less than dirt. Why do we fall for these type of characters? Why do we keep buying these books, and why do we praise these authors for writing them? I've wasted so much electricity writing this review for this book that will surely be the shittiest book I've read all year. Over and out. I just feel like, I mean, comparing, I just feel like, I don't know, I mean, to each their own. Like, I can't get mad at people for seeing that Cardan as abusive, even though he really isn't. Like, Cardan bullies her. Yes, he does bully her, and I can understand why people be mad at that, but Cardan is not abusive. Even the scene where he makes her eat the fairy fruit. Like, he still saves her in the end, and he really only made her do that for a reason, which is disclosed by the end of the book. But I mean, other than that, Cardan was not abusive. Like, he was not abusive. Cardan was abused, yes, but Cardan was not abusive. I don't see that. And there's a difference between being abusive and being a bully. They're both wrong, but they're two completely different things. And I felt like she was trying to make it seem like he was horrible and make people who like the book feel like trash for liking this book and saying, oh, you authors write and reviewers love this book about this abusive character, when Cardan was not abusive. Like, I feel like this reviewer is trying to make people feel bad for liking this book because she didn't. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Over and out. Someone said, DNF'd at page 173. How the fuck is this book so hyped? I expected the fantasy with political intrigues and complexities, and instead I got high school drama, bullies, and one dumb as hell main character. No thank you. Well, I mean, you didn't really finish the book, but I mean, I can't get mad at people for not DNFing the book, but she didn't even get to the good stuff yet. Like, how you DNF a book and you don't even get to the tea? Like, wow. Mini review, DNF time 2. This book is circulating Goodreads since the end of 2017. Holly Black is a well-respected fantasy writer. I decided to give this book a try due to the hype. As you can tell by my rating, I did not like. Okay, one thing I do hate is that when people DNF a book but they still rate it, like, you're not being fair to the author or to anybody else. Like, I get that you did not like this book, but do not rate a DNF'd book. You did not finish it. Like, I feel like for The Cruel Prince, I didn't really care about the book for the first half, and then the second half I really enjoyed it. So I mean, I don't really care where you got to the book. You could have gotten to the last 3 pages and you didn't like it and you DNF'd it. Do not give a book you DNF'd 1 star. Do not rate a book you did not finish, because it's not fair to the author. That's all I have to say. The writing was terrible. It should have been narrated in third person. I had no sense of world building, save that it was a very... I don't know if I'm illiterate or if these people don't know where to place commas or anything, or I had no sense of world building, save that it was a fairy realm. Literally, I don't know what that means. There weren't any court systems, autumn, spring, and so on, and the seemingly established rules wasn't really present. The only thing I knew was that the fairies didn't like the humans, and the fairies couldn't lie but have ways of deception. I found Cardan and his posse were abusive. There people go throwing that word around again. I don't really like the idea of Jude and Cardan being endgame, and geez, way too much deception and murdering for me to handle. I only like Vivi and Oak. That's it. Overall, I didn't like the book, and I don't recommend. I don't recommend giving books you didn't finish 1 star. I mean, I understand you not wanting Cardan and Jude to be together because he bullies her, but I mean, for me, I do think that there was a reason as to why he did it, and he does talk about it in the book, but I understand why people wouldn't want to look past that. I personally do. I mean, as you can see, for me, I see Cardan as a good guy. I mean, not like the best, he's a freaking fairy, so he's not the best guy out there, but I do see him as like a decent fairy. And first of all, fairies are meant to be evil, so I add that on top of the aspect that he was bullied. I mean, he was abused, not by his father, but by one of his brothers. And it's not like abuse, like the word people throw around in these reviews, but he was actually abused. Like, his brother used to like beat him. So I can understand why Cardan was not like the best thing out there, but I understand why a lot of people wouldn't want to look past that. But throwing around the word abusive, I'm just really getting tired of reading these reviews. I feel like it's a way for people to say, I didn't like this book and you shouldn't like this book, but we shouldn't throw around the word abuse. Yeah. 1.5 stars. Meh. Yeah, unpopular opinion coming through. Don't murder me, please. This was an enormous disappointment. I was bored out of my mind for the first 3/5 and read the rest. Looking forward to the moment I finish. I did not like the writing. I felt like I was reading a draft than a final copy, and it was more middle grade book than anything else, which I don't like. I haven't read any Holly Black books before, and I don't think I will read any in the future if it's like this. The characters were boring. maybe with the exception of Maddox. And I couldn't care less about them. I don't think they developed particularly well enough. They're utterly forgettable. The story definitely had potential and the synopsis had me so intrigued, but in the end it was tremendous. Could have been many pages shorter, or at least include some more well-written excitement. I may not have read a lot of books, but I have read really great fantasy that had me breathing hard and clenching the pages, and this was nowhere near close, not by a mile. The world felt unimpressive. I don't know, but I feel like something someone would have came up with at 10, with people riding on frogs and being part animal. I don't know. I really can't come up with anything else that I liked about this. I just don't think this was for me. Because yeah, I can understand why people wouldn't like this book as the world building aspect, because there really was no world building there whatsoever. Like, Holly Black mainly threw this into the world and expected us to know about fairies, which I mean, I kind of understand, because if you read fairy books, then you understand that fairy books follow the same format and they all have like the same rules. But if you don't understand fairy, it can be really confusing, because The Cruel Prince was the very first fairy book that I read, and then I read An Enchantment of Ravens, and then I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and then I started to catch on to fairy books and how they're all basically the same and follow the same rules. But if you've never read fairy books before, I can understand that. And this book has no world building whatsoever, and I definitely understand that. Like, somebody said we're gonna get a Cruel Prince movie, and I'm like, how? There's no world building. So where are you gonna get this? How are you gonna create this movie? So I mean, I can't understand why people don't like in the world building aspect. I don't think that Holly Black's writing is bad at all. I think her writing is really good. So I don't know, I think people are tripping when they say her writing is bad. But yeah, 1 star, DNF 65%, I guess. Here people go with DNFing books and rating them. I think that is my new biggest pet peeve, and I didn't realize how much that this happens until actually reading 1-star reviews. Because to be honest, I really don't care what people who don't like the book think about my favorite books. But I think I'm gonna read one more because I'm kind of getting bored now. But yeah, 1.5 stars if the cover counts as rating criteria. Did I read another version of this book than everybody else? Please tell me, because I love to read the 5-star version of it. Oh, it has spoilers. Okay, never mind. The story was dull. Nothing actually happened. There were so many secondary characters, I struggled to keep up with them. I don't know who they are or what they've done. The writing was horrible and didn't help me get into the story at all. I didn't like the mix of Fae and the real world and traveling between them. Who doesn't like that? That is so weird. I feel like, if anything, it's it's so easy, especially for characters who don't really read fantasy, to get into fantasy. Because I mean, technically this book is urban fantasy because it travels between the real world and a fantasy world, and that's what urban fantasy is. But the fact that I didn't know people didn't like that, like, that's so weird. Like, I feel like I like this book, but once she went to the real world and went to like the freaking mall, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm feeling it. But I mean, to each their own. I really don't care if she didn't like that aspect or not. But anyways, and then this part is a spoiler. Plus June and Karen kiss. Come on. That scene was iconic. She literally held a knife to his throat. Okay, anyways. Just know, there is nothing I liked about this book except the cover. I mean, the cover is extremely beautiful. But yeah, I've been filming this video for 20 minutes. And honestly, I do want to say that, like, if you didn't like this book, I'm not judging you at all. Like, if you didn't like The Cruel Prince, that's good on you. If you love The Cruel Prince, that's amazing. We have more to talk about. Like, I don't judge people for liking this book, and I don't judge people for not liking this book. I do want to say that two things that I learned really annoy me is, do not give 1-star reviews, or do not review period a book that you have DNF'd. And second, do not throw around the word abuse, because I'm starting to think that people don't know what that word means. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to not like these books for their own reasons. Like, I'm not getting on people for not liking this book. Karen was a bully, yes, I will not deny that, but was he abusive? Absolutely not. I mean, if you feel differently, please comment down below and tell me how you feel differently. Like, I am all for constructive criticism and everyone saying how they feel, so feel free to comment And yeah, that's all for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to join the cult. And that is all for this video.
I was up late night balling, so far from my past misfortune. No